Our sweet school supplies are a life changer. Books that make us smarter. Pencils that make teachers younger. Learn all of this in our funny classes at the School of Troom Troom. Cindy is late for class again, but she has a legitimate excuse. She has been making mini books all night long. They are magical. You become smarter once you eat them. Shape chewy candies into rectangles. Divide fondant into 3 parts. Mix it with different food coloring and roll it out to make a thin layer. Cut out a long rectangle. Wrap the candies with fondant as though it is a book cover. Even out the spine. Use a black food marker to write titles on the books. Cindy bites off a piece of world history. Next thing you know, she's a professor and she can name all the dates of the civil rebellions in Africa. And the blue-eyed girl decides to build her career in math. Now she's a PhD in mathematics, genius of equations, and pioneer of formulas. By the way, she has just come up with an excellent formula. If we take all the knowledge from the book and multiply it by the archive of knowledge in our teacher's head, we'll get a negative result. Let's try it in practice. Let's ask the subject of our experiment, our favorite Miss Smith, to come here. We give her the test book. Fortunately, Miss Smith loves eating so much that she'll put any food in her mouth without hesitation. That's a huge mistake. Our formula of negative knowledge works. Miss Smith turns into a regular student. Wow! Is this actually our strict and angry teacher? Miss Smith looks so young and fresh, like a flower. She is open to digest knowledge, study, and flirt with classmates. She's not Miss Smith anymore. She's just Mary. The professors decide to take revenge on Miss Smith. Here, you have the hardest equations that mankind has ever seen. It's not easy for Mary to prove the theory of theories. All the knowledge she had mysteriously disappeared. This tiny calculator might help her. Take white fondant and color it using 2 different food colorings. Roll out darker fondant into a thin layer. Put a square cracker inside and wrap it. Roll out light fondant and cut out small squares. Attach them to the cracker to form calculator buttons. Write numbers on them with a food marker and draw on a black screen. This sweet calculator will help Mary get her brain moving. At first, naive Mary tries to calculate the square root of fondant. Here's a hint. This calculator is supposed to be eaten instead of making calculations. Now it's crystal clear. Once Mary eats it, she still doesn't understand how to solve these equations. I think we should draw instead. The professors give Mary a new task. She needs to demonstrate the principle of measure 100 times, cut once. Our student pulls it off with no trouble. She makes a card with a heart for Justin Timberlake. But the professors don't like her style. They prefer maxi glue. Cut the upper rim off an empty Pringles tube. Stick it into a cardboard plug of a suitable diameter. Cover an empty tube base with corrugated cardboard and coat it with orange acrylic paint. Paint the protruding part of the container in white. Attach the corrugated cardboard to the cardboard plug and paint it in orange too. This is the cap. Cover the top of the cap with white paper and coat it with paint. Wrap the body with white paper. Print a glue label and attach it. Put the corrugated cardboard center inside and put cardboard with foil on top. Hot glue the tube to the bottom tape wheel. Make berry jelly following the instructions on the package. Add water and pour it into a small Pringles container. Let it harden in a fridge. Take the jelly out of the mold when it is set and insert it instead of the glue into our giant glue stick. Cover it with the cap. While Mary works with scissors and glue, the professors work with spoons. They barely manage to finish the entire jelly glue stick before the class ends. It was very delicious. I just hope they are able to digest that huge amount of sugar. Mary's drawing isn't turning out right. Regular colored pencils are letting her down. But the kind professor brings her new pencils. They are made from yummies. Take salt off pretzel sticks. Sharpen one end with a pencil sharpener. Mix different food colorings and cover the pretzel stick so that it looks like a pencil. Cut off the excess. Make a few pencils of different colors. Mary takes a snack break with her pencils. She is ready to create once she tastes the colored pencils flavored with inspiration. Mary draws with regular crayons, but deep inside, she dreams about a giant crayon that she'd be able to create real art with. But we have a surprise waiting for Mary. It turns out that this giant crayon actually exists. Sprinkle a mat with powdered sugar and roll out yellow fondant on it. Shape a thick roll. Cut one end so that it's even, and shape the other one so that it's like the crayon tip. Make the signature cut in the front part. Use a knife to even out the shape of the crayon tip. Attach a big Crayola label to the body. The professors bring out a giant crayon and break Mary's heart because she has never dreamt about a giant edible crayon. Mary just wanted to draw, and these cruel professors ate her big dream. Art class! These genius artists show Mary a very difficult technique. It's called take a brush and paint. Mary understands it all, but she is sick and tired of being a perfect student. It's high time to sneak a mini palette with a brush to the teachers. Cut a paint palette out of 1 drop of white confectionery glaze. Even out the edges with a toothpick. Cut out a hole with a thin knife. Attach big sprinkles onto the palette instead of paints. Use edible glue. Cut a thin strip off a yellow jelly candy for a brush, and a little triangle off a black candy. Attach them with edible glue. The professors got so carried away with their own blue periods of art that they don't even notice that Mary changes out their paints, and they can't help tasting when they see the mini palette. No one even thinks about punishing Mary for this prank. Our professors did become smarter, but they still have a sweet tooth. Mary has a bad habit. She nibbles a pen while testing when she's stressed. You can ruin all of your teeth this way. We need to get rid of this habit. Let's see if she can handle a giant chocolate pen. Make lines on a foam plastic tube with a marker. Sharpen the end. Attach an old pen cap to be the tip. Hot glue gold tissue paper. Cut off the excess. Fasten the paper near the tip with hot glue. Color the refill with a gold marker. Cover the barrel with cardboard. Hot glue small chocolates in wrappers to the cardboard. Cover the entire surface of the giant pen. Cut a clip template out of cardboard. Attach tissue paper to it. Hot glue the clip to the top part of the barrel. Decorate the plug with tissue paper. Wrap a thick cardboard ring with tissue paper around the plug. Little Mary struggles to hold the giant pen in her hands. However, she has no trouble chewing on chocolate. Who could have imagined that this excessive amount of sweetness would bring her back to her previous look? This magical sugar effect is not fully understood by modern scientists yet, but it looks like the era of young professors is over. Our favorite teacher runs the school again. Ah, Miss Smith is back. She will quickly remind us who's the boss, and will give us a whole lot of work to do. In addition to this, she has a little gift. It is so tiny that you can barely see it. It's a mini whiteout. Take 2 small marshmallows. Shape one into a cylinder and even out its edges. Cut a half off the second one and roll it into a cone. Attach the two details with edible glue. Color the body of the whiteout with food coloring when the glue is dry. Add a title with a food marker. This whiteout fluid is tiny, but it's very tricky. Miss Smith decides to correct all the girls' mistakes. All their new knowledge disappears once the girls eat a piece of the sweet correction fluid, and everything goes back to its rightful place. It's all right, girls. You still have your whole lives ahead of you. Did you like our sweet school supplies and school transformations? Then write in the comments which age you think.
Do it! Prank wars, beauty hacks, magic tricks, we got your back. Tips, bring it in. You'll never be bored again. Slime, DIY, always a new surprise. The channel that will blow your